Good evening. The evening has just begun, literally. I would like to start with this video. Nothing is prepared. I wouldn't be able to put out how many videos that I was putting out if I was to prepare the whole thing, if I was to write it out or type it out or make notes. If I was to edit the videos and go here and go there, rewatch them like 3 times before I post it, there is no way that I would be able to post how many videos that I do. So, and that's what makes it special. If I was to take notes and stuff, it would just sound like everybody else's stuff, but this sounds a little better. I know it sounds better, to be very honest. You know what I related to? And I gotta be honest with you. I mean, most 99.9% of people will disagree with me. Okay, 99.9% of people will say that whatever's the commercial hit out there is the best hip hop, right? There's two worlds. The first world, well, let's not, but most people, like almost everybody, will say that the best hip hop guys who are recognized right now are the best out there. I know they had a song called, the Migos had a song called Stir Fry. And I know that was very popular. I mean, like there were people who had nothing to do with hip hop at all who liked that song, Stir Fry. And that's the whole idea, and I don't disagree with it. If you're earning a living or you're an artist, whatever the case is, you're trying to be as popular as you can, and you're trying to sell as many records and concert seats as you can. So I'm not gonna for me to criticize someone in that position would be ridiculous, because that's their business, that's their living, and they're earning money by doing better. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of great hip hop, but we all agree that hip hop has changed from the 90s. You know what I mean? I really believe that, when 50 Cent came in, it must have been 2001 or 2002, that hit he did in the club, or in the club. You know what I mean? It was really even when I was a kid, all the kids, it was popular among all the kids. Okay, that 50 Cent song, that particular song. So, I feel like that was like the kind of exiting the hip hop. You see, I'll tell you what was cool about 90s hip hop. I'll give you an example. Mobb Deep. Okay, you remember Mobb Deep? They had a hit called Shook Ones. That's right, and the two members of Mobb Deep was Prodigy and Havoc. They were both wearing, I think they were full sleeve shirts they were wearing. And they both had Hennessy on them. One was blue, one was red. A baby blue and a red, or a shade of red. And they both said Hennessy on them. Yeah, I mean, this was your rap in the 90s. Dude, if I'm doing commercials for somebody or I'm promoting somebody, it's gonna be in liquor. You know what I mean? I mean, some people might say that they were absolutely stupid, that it's cheesy and it's low class and ghetto and all that. But that's exactly what 90s rap was about, okay? Even if you were rich and you roll up in the hood, you're dressed a certain way, okay? Even if you're rich, you come in, you hang out at the apartment with these guys, and you're dressed like them, and everybody's talking a certain way, and if you say the wrong thing, you're gonna catch a slap. It's that kind of environment. Yeah, even rich guys who were rich roll up in the hood and they're dressed a certain way. They take out a different car. It's a different situation. They're smoking weed and everything and drinking. That was 90s hip hop. You know what I mean? I talked about Noriega with that hit. Well, that was nothing. That was a big hit too. And he made a music video and it was shot in the club. They were in the club. Again, in the club. You know what I mean? It was in the club. And I still remember one of his lyrics was, I think it was something, he said something like white boys at the bar or by the bar, or I'm buying the bar and the white boys are there and they say, hey, now you're an all-star. So, hey, now you're an all-star was by an artist or a group named Smash Mouth, who I believe that song actually went into Shrek, by the way, which was a huge hit. I love the movie, by the way. I thought it was incredible. Shrek was just absolutely incredible. And I think his song made it to that movie, which is cool and it's great and everything. But That's not 90s hip hop. You know what I mean? That is not 90s hip hop. In today's hip hop, they pretty much take in anybody. Even racially, they just anybody comes in and then it's for everybody. But that wasn't the point of 90s hip hop. Hip hop was supposed to be away from what everybody wanted, and it was like a group that liked that stuff, and they were kind of away from what everybody thought was cool. But at the same time, I mean, in those days, marijuana was illegal. Not everybody smoked weed. Today, I mean, everybody's like weed is just out there. You know what I mean? So again, you know, you have that. I'm not a big Cypress Hill fan. I'm not a big. I've heard a lot of their stuff. Very familiar with it. I'm not a big Cypress Hill fan. It's all about weed. You know what I mean? I'm not a hippie, and I'm not, you know, a Rasta who loves weed. I'm not into weed. I'm not into weed. You know what I mean? I never was into weed. I did smoke weed sometimes, but I had a reason. You know, anyway, I won't get into that. It was for a short time that I smoked it. But anyways, to continue on, and that was that was like over a decade ago that I was smoking weed. I smoked it for 6 months for specific purpose, and when it was, anyways, we will get into that. So the point is that the 90s hip hop, you had like, you know, Hennessy and stuff, and today's hip hop is just advertising just about everything. It's not even hip hop anymore, to be honest. They should really change the name. Now, I wouldn't call it hip and whatever else. There might be some kind of insulting terms. I don't want to use those. But they could just call it Hip Hop 40, for example. Honestly, like instead of top, you know how they have Top 40? They could just call it Hip Hop 40 because it's just Top 40 music. It really is Hip Hop 40 music. You know, I am into underground music. I did listen to Mobb Deep at a time. I wasn't like I've talked about this. So when I got a bit older, like into my teenage years, I was into Mobb Deep. Like once I was 14, 15 years old, I was away from Tupac and all that stuff or big, you know, I was just into Mobb Deep. That's it. Yeah, I mean, that's all I like. And once I turned 18 and I started going out and stuff, I was majority house, you know, house and dance and all that stuff. I remember my first time walking into it was my first time in a nightclub. And it was a very nice nightclub in downtown Toronto. And I walked in, and I still remember, like it was weird because, you know, I had an experience. I mean, I walked into the club, and as I walked in and I was walking by, I mean, it was like everybody's eyes were on me. You know what I mean? Like everybody was just looking at me, like as I walked in. It was the strangest feeling I ever got. I was like I knew I would get that attention in school and around and whatever, and people would look at me. But this was at a whole nother level. I mean, it was like the whole club, like everybody just kind of paused just to stare at me as I walked by. It was a weird thing. I remember at one point I was kind of bouncing. I was a little, I wasn't drunk. It looked like I was drunk. And then, anyways, we won't get into that. But, you know, I got into house and dance, and I didn't really care about anything else. Do I still listen to rap music? Yeah, but I listen to very little rap music. Now, I pretty much have to expand my music at this point. Or my music knowledge of current music, because I don't have anything that I listen to current. Most of the house and that I listen to is from the 90s. There are some house songs that I like between 2000 and 2020. And there is some new house that makes me feel good. I gotta be honest, I like Remy Boys. I listen to some of their music. So Remy Boys and Fetty Wap did 679, which I thought was really cool. I thought 679 was like, I mean that was a real 90s hip hop feel. And they're called Remy Boys because they are promoting Remy, is it 1738 Remy, which is a type of liquor. So they're promoting like an expensive type of liquor, just like these guys were promoting Hennessy. These guys are promoting liquor, and Fetty Wap to me seems like he's a bit older. You know what I mean? Like he probably knows something about 90s hip hop, and I listen. So 679 was off the hook. Trap Queen was very good, but that was Fetty Wap on his own. That was a Fetty Wap single, Trap Queen. But Remy Boys were obviously involved in the making of it. But I mean, that was an amazing single. Fetty Wap did a really good job. Everybody liked Trap Queen, everybody liked 679. These were big commercial level hits for guys who were doing something that was real hip hop. And I like a couple of their remixes. I won't get into it, but there are remixes that these guys did of new tracks, and they were off the hook. I mean, I listened to the other ones. I'm like, because I used to listen to those other songs that the originals who were by different artists. And when I found Remy Boy's remixes on those, I was like, dude, the remixes it's not that they're better. Commercially, people will like the original more, but for me, I like the I like the remixes way more, because they kind of match me. It's not that it's more popular. It's not that one is better, one is worse. It's just that it matches me, and I find myself there. You know what I mean? I just happen to find myself there. It comes to me, I go to it, we listen to it. All right, so let's move on. What's the point? That was the whole point. I don't know what I started on about. I must have started on about money. I guess now it's very commercial. Back then it was different. Back then, like, I'll be honest with you, the 90s rap music, even underground or whatever, it was cool to not need to make music for money, but to make music just to be gangsta, just to put something out there. Because you had talent, you had musical talent, and you wanted to put something out there. That's what it was about. Because guys would say, dude, I don't need money. I make money off the streets, man. I sell drugs, I commit crimes, I've done robbery, whatever I do. But dude, I make my money off the street. I'm a hustler. That was a big one. I make my own money, blah, blah, blah. I'm independent. You know what I mean? That was cool to not make music for money. Now the days have changed. It's all really commercial. That goes for everything, man. I mean, do you remember the Simpsons episodes from the 90s? Did you see when the 2000s began, how they transitioned? And by like 2006, they were just ridiculous. Even now, like the Simpsons episodes, I'm not negating them or insulting them, but the Simpsons episodes that I remember in the 90s were totally different. Okay, everything changed. Like everything became commercial and then everything changed. But the point is that that's what they rap about. So there are songs out there that people put out that are really amazing. I'm a big house guy again. I'm a big house music guy. I love house music. And you know what? There is actually a bridge between house music, 90s house and 90s rap music. There are guys like me who were dressed in hip hop and liked hip hop, and liked rap music in the 90s, but they also liked house music. You know what I mean? There are people like that who had been to the house scene. You know what I mean? Or were around the house scene, were around house music, who actually liked 90s. You see, there was something about the music in the 90s, like Mobb Deep and all these guys. There was something there where you heard it, and I didn't have to grow up in a hood or be in a hood. I could be jamming at house clubs with liking house DJs and be like, every now and then, dude, throw in a Mobb Deep hit, man. You know what I mean? I could be a house guy and still relate to that music, not rap music as a whole, that particular music, the underground. I could relate to it because I might have been house, but I was still rebelling. I was still a rebel. I might have been into house music, but I was still a rebel in my life. I was still a rebel in my personality. So I could relate to that music. Okay, I really like what I put out here. This is absolute fire. I really think this is the best video that I've ever done. If not one of the best videos I've ever done. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Watch this. I'm gonna put fire all over the title. Watch this, all right?